Sing Song by Daljit Nagra, written in 2007. Daljit Nagra is a British poet whose parents emigrated to Britain in the 1950s from the Punjabi region of India. They went on to own a shop in Sheffield. In the first three stanzas, we are introduced to Mr. Singh, a Sikh shopkeeper who works 12 hours days in a corner shop owned by his father. Or rather, he is supposed to be working 12 hours a day, but instead he takes the opportunity whenever he can to close the shop so that he can go to the flat upstairs to eat and have sex with his new wife. Consequently, the shop is beginning to show signs of neglect, which prompts cries of complaints from the customers. Stereotypically, British Asians are seen as being very hard-working and work-proud. Nagra plays with this image to present his Mr. Singh as being irresponsible and sloppy. The poet goes on to convey an unexpected image of Mrs. Singh, again offering a counter-view to the so-called typical picture of Indian Asians, such as the quiet and obedient Sikh wife. In stanzas 4 to 7, Mrs. Singh has her own dating business, which seems to be more successful than her husband's, and comes across as being quite assertive, even aggressive. She swears at her mother-in-law and drunkenly mocks her father-in-law, whilst her appearance is unconventional, not just from a British Asian view, but also in the way it subverts wider ideas about what is feminine. Her husband, the speaker, describes her in a pretty unflattering light. Her eyes are compared to the barrel of a gun, and the metaphor tummy of a teddy suggests that her belly is furry and round, but perhaps also cuddly and comforting. Although Mrs. Singh does wear a sari, it's a tartan one, whilst her hair is closely shaven and dyed red. A bulky worker's jacket and trainers add to the picture of a norm-defying, independent woman. Perhaps this is why Mr. Singh is so besotted with her, because it's clear that he is in love, and she with him. Aside from the more, shall we say, physical expression of their love, the couple spend each night after closing time romantically looking at the night sky together. Each time, Mr. Singh tells his wife that she is priceless and worth more than the moon. Maybe the poem is trying to say that by spending time with one another, rather than always working, the Singhs have their priorities right. The poem is written in a non-standard form of English, which is a blend of English words spelt phonetically in places to reflect a Punjabi Indian accent. Sometimes this blend is referred to as Punglish. Nagra has done this in part to make the speaker's voice sound more authentic, and to highlight his Asian heritage. Again, he is tackling racial stereotypes head-on. The Indian accent is often racistly mocked, challenging the reader's own biases. There is a comedic element to the poem with the unusual depictions and naughtiness of Mr. and Mrs. Singh's actions. Mr. Singh freely admits to having the worst Indian shop on the whole Indian road, and there's a sense that he's not taking life too seriously. In the end, this is an atypical love song, which, as the punning title indicates, is a fun, light-hearted celebration of young married love. As such, its excitement and passion is shared by Elizabeth Browning's I Think of Thee and, to a lesser extent, Love's Philosophy, while there are also some similarities with Winter Swans, which centres on a couple who are meant to be together. The upbeat tone of Sing Song and the clear positivity about love contrasts with the unsuccessful love stories present in When We Two Parted, The Farmer's Bride, and Neutral Tones.